Well, first scrimmage in the books, and I think we got the work we wanted in. About 90 plays, pretty limited special teams today, but I think it's that first opportunity for a lot of guys to be in a game relative situation. Plenty of returning guys on this team at the same time, and we got to keep those guys moving along. And I thought the guys competed well today, and I'm standing back there, so to quantify a whole lot is complicated sometimes. I thought we ran the ball well offensively. I thought our running backs did a good job there. Quarterback wise, I thought we made some plays, and then that obviously spills over to who's making those catches on the other end. Offensively, I thought we flew around. There's certainly ebbs and flows with the movement up front. I think our experience in the O-line is a little bit greater right now. We got to keep coming, on the defensive line side of things. But that guys went after it well today, and we'll look at this film and be able to really get a good sense of where we're at. Just past the midpoint of spring ball.
Whether it was tonight or just the spring so far, what have you thought of Tyler and Bobby stepping into those play calling roles?
Yeah, I've been pleased. I think it's certainly plays out here on the practice field now 9 times, but it's really those guys taking over those roles going back to the beginning of the semester, back to January, February, and I've been pleased with their leadership, how they've worked with the other staff members, and then these opportunities to call plays in a kind of game flow is really the that experience that we're looking for, and that's something I'll certainly evaluate. But I thought just our communication, getting plays in, getting play calls in, we was pleased with just the organizational aspect of it. But to speak to how they've more so just taken charge on both sides of the ball, I've been very happy with that.
You mentioned the plays that the quarterbacks made through the air, and just overall, any differences, any kind of progress, growth from Tommy or from Jordan, for any of those guys that you've seen just in the last couple of weeks?
Well, I think Tommy continues to come along, and he's wearing a yellow jersey out there, so the scrambles, there's a few of those in there that fit in, and how you quantify that sometimes is challenging. But I thought he did complete the ball. I know Jordan threw a touchdown. I know it was a nice ball over the middle. I don't even know he threw it to, but yes. So yeah, progress, and I think both Patrick Duchesne and Chance Wilson getting a chance to go out there today. And I thought they operated and did some good things too, and have all the way through spring. So we got a ways to go there to continue to make the progress, evaluate all those things through the next couple of weeks. But I've been pleased with what they've done at this point.
Any wrinkles to the run game? Is it still kind of RPO heavy and read heavy, or did you?
No, I think we're just generally speaking the same schemes now. How we present it, I'd imagine with Tommy we'll present it a lot of the same ways, where we're still trying to have the defense have to defend him out the other way a lot of times. How you would take advantage of a guy like Jordan's skill set would potentially look a little different. Where it's more handoff to pass versus a lot of Tommy is handoff to run to pass, so there's an extra layer. But no, I think our running game, it comes down to what do our O-linemen block well first and foremost, and then what suits our running backs more than anything. And I like how that the blend and versatility is playing out so to this point. I think that lends itself to us being able to have the potential to do a lot of things, and finding our way is still kind of in front of us.
Yeah, the blocking scheme, is it same as it has been, or any wrinkles there as well?
To this point, very similar. Yeah. And I think you build off what you've been able to do. We have a lot of returning experience in the line. We got a lot of young guys that have been in our system now, so you want to take advantage of what they have learned and what they know, and Same goes for our backs, tight ends, the whole group. So yeah, I mean we're, whether we're outside zone, inside zone, the power game. Again, where our heavy reps come, a Saturday in the fall, I think that still remains to be seen. But I think we're still living in that same general world.
That's probably where the portal hits you hard as an offensive line, but you might have 4 of the 5 starters you had in 22. Is that something I know that you thought of? I know that you probably haven't figured out starters yet. But.
No, I think for sure. I think the first, we didn't. You lose 2 guys in particular, our 2 starting guards to the transfer portal. We didn't lose anybody to graduation that played an excessive amount. So that's a rare year where you don't lose anybody to graduation. You're typically going to roll over a couple guys every year to graduation. So that didn't happen. And then, you have 2 guys in Cole and JT that didn't really play. JT played just a little bit, but, who played significant roles the year before. So, you're out with 2, you're in with 2. I know Jacob Kettles figures in the math a little bit there too, but we got some young guys that are right on the cusp as well. So that group is always going to move along in some regard, and like where we're at, even with what occurred with the transfer portal.
The defensive pace and the tackling was pretty good for first scrimmage. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, and we've done a couple live drills to this point in practice, and I think we've tackled well. And I think tackling is about understanding angles and leverage, and then being able to execute the technique. And I think we've done a good job of coaching that, and the guys have executed that for the most part. I know we wouldn't have been perfect today, but we have a fair amount of athleticism between our linebackers and in our secondary, and guys really relying on that athleticism and trusting the speed they play with and flying to the football. Tackling is about more than one guy many times, and I thought that's what showed up. I thought we really ran to the ball well today and got several guys to get to the ball and make plays.
Defensively, still 4-2-5.
Yeah, schematically the same. And I've said it before. I think a lot of the reason you hire internally is because you like what you're doing. You like the schemes. You want your team to be able to build off of what you've done. And a lot of the reason where Tyler and then kind of the combination of Bobby and Sean raised that level is because of what they've been able to show me in the last last 3 years. They've all been with me the whole time here. So, again, defensively, how your strategy and how the game flows from the perspective of Bobby and Sean might look a little bit different, but schematically and what our guys know and what they can build off of is very similar.
Any new players or just guys maybe more under the radar who have impressed you either today or just overall in spring so far?
Yeah, I think where do we lose guys? Tight end wise, been really pleased with the return of Rylan Schlepp. So Rylan obviously flashed, didn't play much at all. Scored that touchdown the first game. Is a local, so he's a known, but he hasn't done much, and so really been pleased with what he's been able to do. Over on the defensive side, he's played. I know he has. Paul Brott's a guy that's been certainly in there, but missed a good chunk last year. And when Paul got back, we were better. But I really liked what he's been able to do. Unsung again played a little bit. Miles Jackson, I think, has had a really good start. We're down Caden Dowler at the nickel position, but Miles, I think, to this point has done well. And then, speaking to some young guys, some second-year guys that didn't really play, Bryce Gribby's, I think, showing really well to this point, and he was in on a lot of plays that it looked like today. Taden Gray is another going in his second year that didn't. I think he played one play on special teams last year. So like what he's been able to do. Yeah, so it's exciting. There's a lot of second-year guys, and the Powdrills, the Sketchray Humphreys, Jacob Trimble. They all played, roles. Hunter Providence got in there, but there's a next grouping of guys that I think really have a chance to make an impact on our success next year.
You talk a little bit more about how you've seen Miles Jackson thrown in that nickel. He was kind of thrown in there in the middle of the season with both Caden and Lavelle out with injuries. So fulfilling that role fully now. How have you seen it?
Well, I think just confidence-wise, and Miles has been a guy my whole time here that's bounced between playing corner and playing nickel. And if he did one thing if he did one thing in the spring, then we probably were asking him to do something different in the fall. And then even within the season, like last year, he started as a corner, and ultimately the way things evolved mid-season, he was the backup and he wasn't seeing much time. And then bam, Lavelle goes down and he's in there for a couple of weeks. So his growth and his level of confidence, I think, continues to advance. And we really like what we saw to Caden Dollar last year. So it's not a situation where Caden won't find himself in there, but Miles has continued to establish himself, grow as a football player. And, he still provides us that flexibility to be a nickel, to maybe be a corner if we need it, to be a really impactful special teams guy. So, you need guys like him going into their last year that are continuing to find a way to, raise their game, and he's a really good example of that.
Do you think any thoughts on Pro Day?
I thought the 6 guys that participated did well for themselves. It's hard to gauge, who exactly is interested, how many teams are interested, but they put up numbers that can add to what they've done. And the biggest thing for any one of our guys is that they've been able to play well and put that on tape. And then you can tie some numbers to maybe some of the curiosity, some of the questions that scouts would have about guys, verify size. I know, like in Derek's situation, verify health or advanced health. So I think they were all pleased. They're all, happy to have cleared the hurdle of Pro Day, and now, the restless few weeks here before the draft and free agency opportunities. They have to kind of bide their time, but I think they did well, and excited for what's in front of each one of them.
I guess kind of just big picture. What are you wanting to see out of your guys for these pre-spring games?
Well, they're out there, and it's not scripted whatsoever. Now we put the ball down, and we don't have all the special teams plays, but you have to, the next play is a product of the previous play, but has to be its own play. How do guys respond after maybe not getting the job done the previous play, and how do they respond from a good play? And to play this game, you have to be able to function in that world, the one play to the next, the good to the bad, remaining calm, remaining confident. So this is a better test of that than anything we've done to this point. Everything we've done to this point builds to be able to do this. Now we'll unpack it. We'll practice a couple more times. We'll do it again next Saturday. So you just you continue to say, how will guys ultimately respond come a Saturday in the fall? And this is our best predictor of that to this point. You're certainly evaluating schemes and some of those things to some points, but this is way more just about evaluating the individuals within the schemes.